two nations, two versions of the most advanced fighter jet on Earth. Israel took the F-35 and turned it into something the manufacturers never imagined, a ghost that flies with its own secrets, its own brain, its own rules. Britain took the same airframe and built a carrier-borne Spear that lands vertically on a ship deck in the middle of the ocean. Both jets share a name, but make no mistake, under the skin they are completely different weapons. Born from completely different wars, tonight we pull back the classified curtain and ask the question the defense world is quietly obsessed with: which variant is the more dangerous machine, and why? After decades of Cold War doctrine, a single program rewrote the rules of modern air power. The F-35 Lightning II, conceived as a joint strike fighter, it was designed to serve three variants: the conventional A model, the vertical landing B model, and the carrier-launched C model. No fighter in history had ever attempted to satisfy so many mission profiles under one airframe. The Pentagon spent nearly $500 billion bringing this vision to life. By the time deliveries began, both Israel and the United Kingdom were in line, but their requirements could not have been more different. One nation wanted a platform for regional air dominance, the other needed a jet that could operate from a ship. Israel was the first foreign nation to fly the F-35 in combat, and they did so with a version no one else in the world operates. The F-35i, named Adir meaning mighty in Hebrew, is a heavily customized variant approved under a special agreement with Lockheed Martin and the U.S. Department of Defense. Unlike standard export configurations, Israel was permitted to integrate indigenous systems into the aircraft's core architecture. This means Israeli-developed electronic warfare suites, communications gear, and proprietary avionics are embedded directly into the airframe. The result is a jet that looks identical on the outside, but carries an entirely different operational soul, one shaped by decades of Israeli intelligence, cyber capabilities, and combat experience in contested airspace. The United Kingdom operates the F-35B, the short takeoff and vertical landing variant known as STOVL. This is the most mechanically complex of the three F-35 models. It features a Rolls-Royce lift system, a massive lift fan mounted directly behind the cockpit, driven by a drive shaft connected to the main engine. When operating in vertical landing mode, the lift fan, three roll posts, and a rear exhaust nozzle work in concert to keep the aircraft stable. This engineering marvel allows the F-35B to land on HMS Queen Elizabeth and HMS Prince of Wales, Britain's two Queen Elizabeth-class carriers, without the need for catapults or arresting gear, giving Britain a genuine global power projection capability it lacked for over 30 years. Both variants share the same stealthy outer mold line, the carefully sculpted angles, radar-absorbing materials, and internal weapons bays that give the F-35 its near-invisible radar cross-section. However, the F-35B pays a meaningful price for its vertical landing capability. The lift fan hardware and modified internal structure slightly compromise internal volume, meaning it carries a marginally smaller internal fuel load and in some configurations fewer weapons internally than the A or C variants. Israel's Adir, using the A-based airframe, carries a full internal payload and fuel advantage for long-range strike missions deep into hostile territory. Precisely the kind of mission Israel trains for. This aerodynamic and fuel efficiency edge matters enormously at the operational level. Perhaps no dimension of the F-35i's superiority is more quietly acknowledged than its electronic warfare capability. Israel's defense electronics industry, led by companies like Elbit Systems and Rafael Advanced Defense Systems, is among the most sophisticated in the world. The Adir integrates Israeli-built electronic warfare pods, jamming systems and intelligence-gathering tools that go beyond the standard system found on British F-35Bs. These additions are believed to include cyber-offensive capabilities and signal intelligence tools refined through decades of real operations against sophisticated Russian-supplied air defense networks in Syria. Britain's F-35B relies primarily on the standard Lockheed Martin package, powerful but not customized with the same combat-proven, intelligence-rich modifications Israel has embedded. Both jets share the F-35 standard internal weapons package, two AIM 120 air-to-air missiles, and 2 precision-guided bombs in internal bays, preserving stealth. Beyond that baseline, their arsenals diverge sharply. Britain's F-35B is certified to carry the Meteor Beyond Visual Range missile, a ramjet-powered weapon with a no-escape zone that significantly outranged the AMRAAM. Israel's Adir is certified for Israeli-developed munitions, including the Spice 1000 glide bomb and the Python 5 close combat missile, weapons built by Israeli engineers for Israeli threat environments. Rafael's Rampage supersonic standoff missile is also reportedly being integrated. Israel's bespoke weapons integration represents a closed-loop system where jet pilot mission planning and munitions are all optimized together at the national level. This is where the comparison becomes starkly unequal. Israel's F-35i has been in active combat since 2018, when the Israeli Air Force confirmed its first operational strikes using the aircraft, making it the only nation in the world to have used the F-35 in live combat. Since then, the Adir has conducted hundreds of sorties against targets in Syria, reportedly striking advanced air defense systems, weapons transfers, and infrastructure with near impunity. Each mission generates real data on enemy radar performance, threat responses, and the jet's own survivability that feeds directly back into Israeli upgrades. Britain's F-35B has deployed globally and demonstrated readiness, but as of now, it has not conducted combat strikes. Its true operational edge remains untested under fire. Britain is the largest international partner in the F-35 program and manufactures roughly 15% of every F-35 built worldwide, including the rear fuselage, BAE Systems cockpit components, and Rolls-Royce propulsion elements. The UK has committed to purchasing 138 F-35Bs, though current confirmed orders stand significantly lower, with around 35 aircraft in service. Israel operates roughly 36 Adir aircraft with firm orders for a total fleet potentially approaching 75 jets. For a nation of Israel's size, this represents an extraordinary concentration of fifth-generation air power. Britain's industrial stake in the program grants strategic leverage and deep maintenance capabilities, while Israel's operational focus means every airframe is trained, maintained, and programmed for the specific missions of the Middle Eastern theater. The F-35I and F-35B serve fundamentally different strategic masters. Israel's Adir is a precision instrument of national survival, designed to strike Iran's nuclear program if ordered, to suppress Hezbollah's advanced missile arsenal, and to operate inside the world's most contested airspace over Syria and Lebanon against Russian-linked AI. Our defenses. Britain's F-35B is an instrument of alliance designed to operate from carriers alongside US and NATO partners, projecting power globally rather than regionally. It sailed to the Pacific. It deploys with allied task groups. Its value lies in expeditionary flexibility, not surgical deep strike. These are not competing jets. They are two entirely different answers to two entirely different questions. There is no clean winner, but there is a clear lesson. Israel's F-35I is the more lethal regional strike platform. Its bespoke electronics, combat-proven systems, indigenous weapons, and real-world sortie data make it the most operationally refined F-35 on Earth today. Britain's F-35B is the more strategically versatile platform, a seagoing, alliance-compatible, globally deployable asset that no land-based nation can replicate. If you need to strike a hardened bunker 1,500 kilometers away in defended airspace, fly the Adir. If you need to project credible air power from the ocean in an international coalition board, HMS Queen Elizabeth. The F-35 was built to be adaptable, and these two variants prove that a single aircraft can become two completely different weapons in the right hands. If this breakdown changed the way you think about modern air power, smash that like button and subscribe right now. We cover the weapons, strategies, and technologies that most channels never go deep enough to explain. Drop your biggest question in the comments. Which nation do you think built the better F-35? And hit the notification bell. Our next deep dive is already in production.